Hello everyone, semi-retired Bob here. I talk about the carnivore diet and all things related to the carnivore diet and a few other miscellaneous odds and ends. Well, here we are, the day after Christmas. I hope we all had a great Christmas. I know I certainly did. I posted a picture of what I ate yesterday. So, as you see, I got through Christmas with no cheating. But if you did, that's fine. If you ended up having a little something you probably shouldn't have, there's nothing wrong with that. Just get right back on the wagon today. Don't beat yourself up. It was a holiday. These things happen. Just keep pushing forward. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Normally, I'm out walking and making videos while I'm walking, but it's been frighteningly cold, just like it has around most of the country. It is supposed to get above 40 degrees this afternoon, and if it does that, I will probably go out and try and get some walking in. I walked inside the building a few days ago and did a little over a mile and a half, but it just, going around a tight little circle inside the building is just exhausting. So I'm hopefully going to be able to get out and walk a few laps around the church today on the outside. If it gets above 40, I'll be able to do that. If it doesn't get above 40, I probably will not. But we'll see how that goes. But today, now that we're past Christmas, it's just a few days till the first of the year. And one of the things I want to talk about today is the January challenge. And I want to talk about making New Year's resolutions. First off, let's talk about making New Year's resolutions. Everybody does it. Why do we do it? Why do we have to wait until New Year's to make that resolution? Why are we doing things that we don't want in our life? Just stop today. I haven't made a New Year's resolution in decades now. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of New Year's resolutions. But yeah, if you decide you are going to make resolutions, then make this the last year you have to make those. Because if you're trying to get healthier or do whatever it is that you're resolving to do, just try to stop doing things that you're going to need to make a resolution for later. And that's something that you can do throughout the year, every day. You don't have to wait till New Year's. You don't have to, wait till whatever. Just every time you start to do something, whether it be, like with me, eating foods that I'm not supposed to, or going to eat out and not even realizing that I'm about to eat something I shouldn't. Just every day, keep in mind, before you do something, it's like, am I about to do something I'm going to have to make a New Year's resolution for next year? Then just don't do that. Let that be extra motivation for you. But yeah, the real reason I wanted to talk to you today is about the January challenge. It's really quite simple, and yet complicated at the same time. Because there's a proper human diet spectrum, there's the lion diet, which is a subset of the carnivore diet, and the carnivore diet is a subset of the keto diet. And even within the keto diet, there's ketovore, which is even lower carbs, and then above that, there's the traditional low carb diet. January is World Carnivore Month. So I would hope everybody is at least planning on doing that. But I would like to challenge you to take it one step further. So if you're low carb and planning to do keto, go ahead and do ketovore for the month of January. If you're ketovore planning on doing carnivore, go ahead and try the lion diet, which is just ruminant meat, salt, and water. It's only 30 days. How hard could it be? I know a lot of you aren't going to like that, and that's perfectly okay. And you're like, well, Bob, you're not giving up anything for January because you're already on the lion diet. Well, if there were a more strict form to go, I would do it. And I think what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to go ahead and do another no coffee month for January. As I said, I've had some coffee, especially on these cold days. That hot beverage really warms me up, but it is supposed to get warmer. This afternoon is supposed to get above 40, but then over the next few days it's supposed to warm up, and where it was a high of, I think, 24 or 25 degrees on Saturday here. Next Saturday is supposed to be 71 degrees, which will be wonderful. And if it continues to warm up like they're calling for it to warm up, I'm hoping to get out to the park either tomorrow or Wednesday. We'll just have to wait and see how that goes, because I'm really ready to get back out on the trail, but it's just too darn cold to spend a lot of time outside in one shot. But in the interest of World Carnivore Month, I want to go over just a few of the steps on how to start a carnivore diet. And if you're planning on being a carnivore for World Carnivore Month in January, you probably need to start prepping for that now. Some of the prepping things that you can do is purge your pantry. Get rid of all the stuff that's non-carnivore, or if you're planning on not sticking with it after the 30 days, at least, package it up in boxes and store it in the attic or out in the garage or something. Get it out of your kitchen, because I have found that if I have to get in the truck or go outside in this weather and physically go open a box that's stored in the attic or the garage to get to something, whether it be a cookie or a cake or whatever, it's much, much harder to get to, and I tend not to go after those things. At least that's what I did in the start. I don't have anything like that here in the trailer. I have my meat thawing for today. It's still frozen, so it's out on top, just like 4 little flank steaks. But those will be thawed by this afternoon enough to cook those up and have a nice big feast. But yeah, purge all the junk out of your life. And I would start dialing back the carbs and ramping up the fatty red meat now, so that there's only a week, not even quite a week, which is not nearly long enough of a transition, but it's better than just jumping straight in on January the 1st. Now, if you're already keto, it's not a huge transition, but you may want to start now just dialing back the veg just a little bit, so you're getting fewer and fewer carbs to avoid the you can't really call it the keto flu, because it's carnivore diet, even though carnivore is a subset of keto. I heard somebody suggest once on one of Dr. Barry's lives that let's just say the lively bathroom effects that people can have when they first start a carnivore diet, that we should start referring to that as the carnivore cleanse. So be aware of that. But yeah, get rid of all the stuff that could cause you to knock yourself off plan. Have a plan for adding electrolytes and minerals into your diet, because when you start, especially if you're coming from the standard American diet or the SAD diet to the carnivore diet, as your body starts to flush out all that inappropriate inflammation, which is basically just water weight, a lot of your electrolytes are going to go with that. So for the first few days especially, you're going to want to have a plan in place for how to get salt, potassium, and magnesium. Keto Chow makes an electrolyte drop. They make a daily minerals, which also has the electrolytes in it, plus some minerals, which is the one I recommend. or you just get yourself good quality salt. And when I say good quality salt, I'm talking about Redmond's Real Salt, pink Himalayan sea salt, any kind of sea salt that's not evaporated from the ocean. Because the ocean has a lot of microplastics in it. You want a good mined salt. I'm sure all of you know what I'm talking about when I say Umbrella Girl salt is not a good salt to use. If you go to your cupboard right now, if you have Umbrella Girl salt or anything that comes in one of those blue tubes, whether it be off-brand or whatever, just go grab it, look at the ingredients list, and discover for yourself that the second ingredient in table salt of this kind is sugar. And sugar is what we're trying to get rid of. So you're not doing yourself any favors by using a type of salt that has sugar mixed in with it. A few of the other steps you need to be aware of. Of course, step number one is don't change your number of meals per day to start with. Just continue with whatever you're eating, whether it was 2 meals a day, 3 meals a day, or if you're already eating 1 meal a day. You don't need to change that right off the bat. The thing that you do need to change is eat until you're full. And I talked about this a little bit in the video I put out a couple days ago about mistakes. But I cannot emphasize this enough. Not eating enough is one of the biggest things that will make you fail, because you're going to get hungry again, or you're going to have some ill effects because you're not getting enough nutrition. And it is very easy to undereat if you're not used to eating a lot of meat. So you want to make sure that you're eating enough, which means you eat until you're full, eat till you're comfortably stuffed. Maybe even when you're first starting out, push past that and eat a few more bites even after you feel full. Don't make yourself sick, but try to push as much food as you can into your system, because the more good nutrition you get into your body, the more building blocks your body has to heal itself. Concentrate on fatty meats. As most of you know, I use beef because that's what's cheapest here. I like lamb, I like sheep, I like all of the other ruminant meats, but they're just not in my budget. But concentrate on getting big fatty cuts of meat. Get to know your local butcher. Even if it's just the butcher that works behind the meat counter at your big box style grocery store. Because I guarantee you, all of them try to make the meat look pretty before they wrap it up and put it in the case, so they're trimming fat off of it. Well, ask them if you can either have untrimmed meat or if you can buy the trimmings, because frying up a bunch of fat trimmings and having those as a side dish, or if you're still a snacky type person, those are really good snacks to have around because it's just fat. But make sure that you're getting plenty of food, because we've been taught from the time we were kids, oh, you don't want to eat that much, you're going to end up getting fat. Or eat low fat, eat lean. If you're going to have meat, make sure you drain all the grease off of it. Don't eat any of that saturated fat. That saturated fat will kill you. Well, we now know that that's absolutely not true. But you want to, get as much fat as you can. I wouldn't go overboard right off the bat. Oh, one of the other things I was going to say about the challenge, if you've been eating dairy, maybe the extra thing you add this month is you take dairy out of the equation for a month. Any extra little thing you can do to speed the healing process It's only for 30 days, and then just see how you feel. We're going to see how we feel at the end of the 30 days. And who knows, maybe if you've been ketovore for, even 2, 3, 4 years, and you have just a little bit of edge because you really like your green beans cooked up in bacon grease or whatever it is that you're eating, and you kept doing that because you thought there's no way I'm ever going to be able to cut those out, go ahead and cut them out. It's just for 30 days. It's not a big deal. Cut them out for 30 days and see how you feel. And then at the end of the period, if you notice that you feel a lot better, perhaps that will be the motivation you need to no longer have that little bit of edge or that little handful of berries or nuts or whatever it is that you're eating that makes you a ketovore rather than a carnivore. That little bit of dairy, Try adding butter to your coffee instead of heavy whipping cream. I know, all you out there, you're coffee addicts and you like your cream in your coffee. I understand the addiction. I've never had that addiction because I've always had black coffee. When I have coffee, it's black. I don't add anything to it. But that is, that's right. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh yeah. And the number one important thing, get the meat you can afford. There's no reason to break your budget for the carnivore diet. Is grass-fed, grass-finished, panda massaged meat the very best there is? Is the very finest cut of meat the best thing there is? Well, yeah, that is going to be a little better than ground beef. But even though the nutritional content of ground beef is slightly less than that very expensive beef, the ground beef, or even Spam or bologna or the lowest carb hot dogs you can find, any of that stuff is still going to be much better than junk food. A hot dog with a gram of carb in it is much better for you than a donut. Eating a whole package of bologna, go ahead and fry the bologna up in a skillet. We ate that a lot when I was a kid. The problem, of course, is that we then, stuck it between two pieces of bread and slathered mayonnaise on it. Just eat the fried bologna or whatever it is. There are tons of things you can do that are cheaper options. As that many of you that have been following this channel for a while, I ate a lot of Spam when I first started, and I still have like 7 cases of Spam out in the truck. But just eat the best you can afford, because even the cheapest bologna and Spam and hot dogs and lunch meats and things like that are so much better for you than the standard American junk food diet. But that's the challenge. That's how we get started, making a few preparations for it now, so that when you get to January the 1st, you can jump right in. If you're having a New Year's Day football party, make sure you basically just cook up strips of steak and have those laying around for people to eat. Or you can even go with, like pepperoni and salami and little chunks of cheese and things like that will make a perfectly acceptable football snack without blowing the diet on day one. But that's what I've got for you today. Hopefully tomorrow's video will be a walking video of some sort, because I'm not as wild about these sit-down videos. I like to be out walking and moving while I'm talking to you. I get a lot better ideas. I don't struggle quite so much with what to talk about while I'm out there out of breath and trying to push to go further and faster. But anyway, don't forget to get out there, be 1% better today, Once again, I hope you all had a great Christmas. Enjoy this week. It's Capital One Bowl week, so there's lots of college football to be played this week. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.